The spiritual path has been described as a process of waking up and going to sleep. When we begin to open up to the daily dance of hope and fear, clarity and confusion, insight and doubt, the catastrophic mess of observing the mind and the fluctuations of the mind and emotion, this can feel even more unsettling than when we were completely asleep. One moment, you're surfing on the waves of the mind and you feel completely at peace. And then you get beached by a coronavirus. And you didn't see that coming. And a part of you thinks, I should have seen it coming. What's wrong with me? Why did I make that decision? I pray, I meditate, I'm a good soul. I should have been more prepared for this. I should know what to do. It reminds me of a talk that Ram Dass, formerly called Dr. Richard Alpert, gave when he came back from India, and people were seeing him as a wise spiritual teacher. He was wearing these flowing robes. He said people kept asking him, is it the end of the world? Because it seemed that way in the 60s, right? This is just all falling apart. Or is it the beginning of a new age of understanding? And he said, I have no idea. And he thought he should. He thought he should know. So he contemplated the question deeply, and he realized it doesn't matter. Because he realized that if it was the end of the world, like, in an apocalyptic sense, the best way to meet that would be to calm the mind, open the heart, and minister to the suffering that was right there in front of you. And if it is the beginning of a new birth in consciousness, a more sustainable and beautiful world, the best way to usher that in is to calm your mind, open your heart, and minister to the suffering that's right there in front of you. So either way, right? Regardless of the outcome, it doesn't matter. We know what to do. Waking up can feel unsettling because sometimes it's like a jolt of energy and we don't feel like, our wiring system is quite up to that charge. And then we realize all of that was a story I made up, a dream. And suddenly you see clearly how those events and experiences have had deeper meaning that led you to this moment in your life. And you are awake. And then you forget it again. The current pandemic of fear, our obsession with germs, and our concerns about the coronavirus getting us, live alongside our deep faith and our hope that through the spiritual practices of prayer and meditation, compassionate services to others, we'll have what it takes. We'll have the courage. We'll be brave enough to live fully alive, regardless of the outcome. So in essence, until we wake up completely, our life is like a shadow dance with hope and fear. And we need to learn a few more dance steps. With more experienced partners, we need encouragement, inner courage, spiritual bravery, and connection to that intelligence that is more than the brain. Every one of us can tap into the wisdom of every soul that has ever lived. Carl Jung called that our collective unconscious, or other words in other traditions. One of my teachers used to say, the angels are unemployed unless you ask them for assistance. So in this service too, remembrance is something that means remember the saints, remember the siddhas, remember the Buddhas, remember the great beings, remember the master. There's a word in Sanskrit, satsang. It means to be in the company of truth. And so I offer you 2 saints today, at least, for us to be in the company of. Saint Julian of Norwich is the first. She was born in 1342 and received her revelations when she was 30 years old and critically ill. She received 16 revelations of God's love for all humanity. Julian shared her encouragement with those who came to her by giving the words that were given to her in her revelations, like, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Let's try that. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Isn't that a good one for today? All shall be well, and all manner of things should be well. Julian said that the earth, so microscopic, like a speck against the cosmos, was held together because it was created by love. And the deepest meaning of earth is love. She wrote, God showed me a little thing the size of a hazelnut. On the palm of my hand, it was round like a ball. I looked at it and I wondered, what is it? And the answer came to me, it's all that is made. I marveled that it even existed and didn't suddenly disintegrate. It was so tiny. And again, my mind supplied the answer. It exists, Julian, now and forever because of God's love. In short, everything in this universe, in this world, in us, through us, above us, below us, everything exists now and forever because God loves it. In short, everything owes its existence to love, which is another word for God. So revelations like Julian's encourage us. Our spiritual friends and our ancestors and our mentors assist us through their encouragement. They're helping us to feel that courage within, to have faith and trust in our own intelligence and guidance, to give us confidence in our path and true nature, to help us remember all that we are. At 17 years old, our next saint, Joan of Arc, a simple peasant who could not read or write, was guided by divine wisdom to lead the French army. Since the beginning of human history, Joan of Arc is the only person of either sex who has ever held supreme command of military forces of a nation at the age of 17. It's clear she was guided by intelligence from beyond. Even after she was chained and imprisoned, she was divinely inspired in her profound and timeless answers to treacherous questions from intellectuals and theologians and lawyers over 6 centuries ago at her trial. Joan of Arc is an icon for our time. She was truthful when lying was the common speech of men. She was honest when honesty had become a lost virtue. She selflessly gave her life to a great purpose, to lead her nation when many people at first laughed at her and when most people were wasting their lives on selfish gain, deception, greed, and desire for more fancy toys. Joan was steadfast courageous, and focused at a time when her entire nation during the 100 Years' War was unstable, depressed, and hopeless. Joan was full of love and childlike mischief and compassion when the rule of the day was merciless cruelty and unfathomable torture. She would not give up her hope in humanity or her trust in her king or in God and the voices of the saints that guided her, even when threatened with the most unspeakable torture. She said at her trial, with this, they say, most incredible poise, "I will tell you nothing more than I have told you. No, not even if you tear my limbs from my body. And even if in my pain I did say something otherwise, I would always say afterwards that it was the torture and not I that spoke." How brilliant is that? Joan was gentle, funny, humble, noble, adorable, endearing, and courageous, even in the face of her greatest fear, death by fire. Perhaps in all of human history, save Jesus Christ, we have no other person who we have documented evidence of who showed us the face of total unselfish courage in life and death. So let us call forth her memory, and let us give us strength and encouragement today on what used to be called the Armed Forces Day as our soldier of faith. Seeing so much sickness and death in the world can remind us that our human life is precious and fleeting. We don't have forever, so don't delay. Move those feet in the direction of your soul's highest purpose, because we may never pass this way again. Or like they say in Zen, you can't ever step into the river in the same place. So have courage, have confidence in yourself, have faith in others and encourage them. Know you are a good soul and you're here for a reason. Live your mission. Encourage yourself and see our world community moving forward in a healthy, calm, and courageous world, a more sustainable world. Let's have faith in God and each other. May love and virtue rise up in the hearts of humanity, in God and Jesus and St. Julian and St. Joan, and our angels and guides, ancestors and friends. We trust. We celebrate them. We remember them. We ask for their encouragement, and we will be a stand for encouragement. And now we call on them to guide our way. And may every step we take be guided in love.